On a cold, quiet Wednesday night in West Virginia, a tragic event unfolded behind the closed doors of a suburban home, one that would forever alter the lives of a family and raise chilling questions about self-defense, fate, and justice. This is the story of a 15-year-old boy who was forced to make a life-or-death decision, one that no child should ever face. Maxwell Laham, a man known to his community as a quiet, hard-working father, was about to become the center of an unimaginable tragedy. On the surface, his family seemed normal, but beneath the surface, things were far from peaceful. Maxwell had a history of violent outbursts, and though his family tried to shield themselves, the storm was always brewing. The victim was not just a father. He was a man trapped in his own anger, a father who had crossed a line that led to his ultimate demise. It was a Wednesday night when the nightmare began. Maxwell, enraged, fired a 12-gauge shotgun at his wife in a violent outburst. The blast tore through the house, sending his wife and another child fleeing for their lives. But their teenage son remained in the house. As the situation escalated, the son retreated upstairs, where he grabbed a 20-gauge shotgun in a desperate attempt to protect himself. Maxwell, in his rage, followed his son upstairs. The confrontation was inevitable. The father, holding a gun, moved toward the boy. In that instant, a single shot was fired, a shot that would forever change everything. The immediate aftermath was chaotic. Neighbors heard the gunshot, but by the time they arrived, it was too late. The police were quickly called, and the authorities arrived to find Maxwell Laham's body, a father dead at the hands of his son. But was it murder, or was it an act of self-defense? West Virginia State Police started piecing together the fragments of the story. The son claimed it was self-defense, that his life was in danger, and he had no choice but to protect himself. But the authorities had to investigate further. Was it truly self-defense, or had there been more to the story? As investigators combed through the details, some inconsistencies began to emerge. Could this be a case of a son pushed to the edge by years of abuse? Or was there something darker at play? Some local whispers suggested that the relationship between father and son was more complicated than it appeared. Could it have been a tragic accident? Or was it the culmination of a long-standing family feud? The media coverage painted conflicting pictures of the family dynamics. Some claimed that Maxwell had been abusive, while others hinted at a family torn apart by secrets. The truth seemed buried beneath layers of suspicion and doubt. The breakthrough came when investigators found a chilling piece of evidence, a series of text messages and emails sent by Maxwell in the days leading up to the shooting. In these, Maxwell expressed his anger toward his family, speaking of his violent tendencies and threats of retribution. The pieces of the puzzle slowly started to fit together, suggesting that the son had acted out of pure self-preservation. In addition, ballistic reports confirmed that the shot that killed Maxwell was fired from a distance, consistent with the story told by the son. The evidence pointed in one direction. This was a tragic act of self-defense. The case reached a breaking point when the community began to rally behind the son. As the details of the abusive home life came to light, more people understood his fear. The family that had been torn apart by violence was now left with an unanswerable question. Could a father, in his final moments, have really threatened his own son's life? In the courtroom, the air was thick with tension. The question wasn't whether the son had fired the fatal shot, but whether he was justified in doing so. The line between victim and perpetrator was blurred, and the courtroom became a battleground for justice and survival. As the trial unfolded, It became clear that there was no simple resolution to this heartbreaking story. Was it truly a case of self-defense, or had the son simply taken matters into his own hands? The jury would decide, but the emotional scars would never fade. In the end, it wasn't just a family torn apart. It was a reminder of the complex, often murky nature of self-defense. The story of Maxwell Laham's death is still ongoing. As of now, no clear answer has emerged. Was justice served, or does the mystery of that night remain? One thing is certain. It was a night that forever changed a family and a community that will never forget the events of that fateful evening.